Welcome to Youth Unmuted, a podcast for youth, by youth. My name's Abby. I'm one of the co-founders of Step Up, and I'm here today with one of my favorite people in the world. This is Mozetta. I'll introduce her because she's too humble to tell you the real tea. So, I met Mozetta through track. Amazing track athlete, amazing sprinter, did varsity athletics, and now she's coaching some amazing kids, and I hear from the kids themselves how much they love Coach Mo. So, I'm so excited to have Miss Mo here today.
Thank
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, as you can tell by a little essence of sports and, you know, the way we want you to know each other, because they're going to talk a bit about racism in sports, kind of about like our experiences and, you know, tips and tricks learned along the way and the supports we think, you know, are kind of needed in this space. So, firstly, Mo, I want you to talk a little, I already know the gist of a lot of the things, but talk a little bit about the racism and you think that you kind of experienced in sport. But I know you did some stuff in the States and in Canada, maybe like comparing the two or however you want to do it.
Sure. Okay. So I guess for me, like, I don't know if I would call it like racism. Like, I don't think it was overt, but I feel like there was a lot of microaggressions, just things like that. But yeah, so for those who don't know, for my first year in university, I did go down to the States. I had a track scholarship there. So I went there, and the state that I was in, I don't know if I want to expose myself right now.
Let's just say not the most for the people.
Yeah, the state definitely should have done my research before I went there, because definitely not a lot of POCs. Fun fact, actually, I was the only Black woman on my whole team. So, during that year,
Track is the most.
Yeah, there was two before, but then they had just graduated.
They stayed the full time.
Wow,
they're strong.
Yeah. So, coming in, I was not expecting that, like, just being in a new country, even though it's just right there, still new country. I was only 17 at the time when I moved there, and that was the first time just being away from my family. It was definitely culture shock. I feel like just being in the States in general, like, usually, like in Canada, like, I don't really think about race that much or just being Black, but when I'm in the States, like, I'm more aware that I'm a person of color. Do you know what I mean? It just hits me. It's like, okay, here I am. And I feel like other people were noticing that too. Like, I would get like just a lot of like strange looks and things like that. I remember one time I was just going on a walk. There was a girl. She was quite a bit like ahead of me, but she just kept like looking back at me. And I'm like, I'm literally, I'm like, I'm far away from you. I don't know what this is all about. Like, and going on some of my walks, seeing Confederate flags, and I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable, you know, just like little things like that started to creep up, and trying to talk to my roommates about it, like they were all not people of color. So when I would like explain these things to them, it would be like, oh, it's just in your head, like no one's looking at you like that. But it's like, I feel like I know what I saw, so you just not like validating how I feel and immediately dismissing it. Like, that was definitely, it was hard. Like, I didn't really feel like I had people I could, you know, share this with.
Oh, 100%. Probably feel like you're just so, like, who would you talk to about this? There's no one who can have a similar lived experience around you. So, like, who is there? And, I feel like even if you try talking to people in Canada, we probably wouldn't understand what it's like to that degree, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I think, like, again, I think yours are a bit further than microaggressions. A lot of those things are, like, racism. Like, why are you scared of me just because of how I look?
Yeah.
I think, like, a lot of things in Canadian sport is that microaggression, like, element. For example, I remember in high school, we were a very small school. So if we had people do good in sports, it was, like, a big deal because that didn't happen that often. Yeah. But then when it came to me, a lot of the things are like, but you're Black, duh, you can jump high. Like, I'm a high jumper, by the way. Figure that context would help. But it's like things like that to belittle the talent, like the work it took to get to where I got to. So I think this is like the microaggressions. I think that's very common in Canadian sport, basketball especially. Like if you're like through like green and gold camps, you heard a lot with like basketball. And like, you know, you see the Black athletes like, oh, of course he's good at basketball. Like, what? I can't guard him. What am I to do? So it's just like the stereotypes that we say, especially like teenage boys, that we say as jokes, but I don't think we realize the harm it can have when it's like, that person probably worked dang hard to get to where they are, A, and B, in sports, there's going to be someone just that's better than you. I hate to break it to you, that's what sport is.
Yep.
Like, there's going to be someone faster, someone taller, someone quicker, like,
and they don't have to be black. And
they don't have to be black.
I feel like for track, like a microaggression is like, for sprints especially, it's like, oh my gosh, you let that white girl beat you or whatever. It's like, huh? I let her do what? Like, you let someone beat you. What? So I find, because it goes into that thing, like we just assume, all black people are just so fast. So if they're losing against other people, of different, then that means they're not. I'm like, that's not how that
I can't
works.
imagine hearing
but
that.
Okay.
And it's like, I just bust my behind in this race. That's the first thing you can say to me. Like,
yeah, right. And kind of just discrediting like all the work I've done, and it's like, genetics can only take you so far, even if, it is true that, all black people, like, genetics can only take you so far.
If you've made it to a varsity level of sport, that is a combination of genetics and, like, your hard-earned work.
Yep.
You can't have just either one of those and make it far and varsity. For example, with high jump, you can have the best form, but if you're, like, 5'2", hate to break it to you, you're not going to jump high.
It only takes you so far. So there
already are those, like, natural genetic components that we just don't have these conversations or jokes or stereotypes about.
Yeah.
Kind of tying back to your, like, I don't want to say the state, but, your state's track era. What do you think are some specific supports that you wish you had back then? Or even if you want to talk about, like, varsity in Canada, supports that you wish you had.
I feel like having some other black girls on the team would have been so nice. Just for certain things. Like,
actual
here's an example.
Not you being the token diversity.
Yeah, and like, here's an example. So for one thing, like, our coach made us do pool workouts. And, with us and our hair in the pool, like, it doesn't always mix together.
Yeah.
I remember actually, I was talking about how, like, I was so silly. I didn't have a cap, so I like put a plastic bag over my head. And then I think it was after practice in the locker room, one of my teammates said something to the fact, we're like, oh, you're the only one that has hair like that or whatever. And I was like, oh,
well, yeah, because I'm black.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe a support and like resource where it's like, where can I get my hair done? Like protective stuff or something like that. So if I am going to the pool or if we have meets like week after week, like I don't have, that's one less thing to worry about. So I feel like that would be a resource that would be helpful, especially, for someone who's never been to that state before. Yeah. I don't really know things around. Just, knowing where to go for little things like that just can make you feel more comfortable.
But I think even going a step further, it's like cultural understanding.
Yeah. Like, why do I have to put a plastic bag on my head?
Yeah.
I don't want it to get wet,
Literally. I remember, because you guys didn't, but jumpers, we had swim days.
Ooh.
At varsity. And like one time my hair was straight and I was like, I hate to break it to you. No.
You didn't do it.
I didn't do it. Because, and then I think it's like when white people think about straightening their hair, it's a quick like 20-minute boom, 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 boom. Like, no, this took me like
it's a procedure.
Entire night.
It's a medical procedure.
It stays for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I am not getting into that pool. Mm-hmm. And luckily, like, I just had the conversation. It was good to go. But then it's like, I can see how things like that can go so different to someone who's not just open to have this conversation.
Yeah.
No one's saying you have to know everything. You have to know about every religious group and every race and exactly what holiday.
It's pretty impossible to do that anyway.
I don't know everything. You don't know everything.
Yeah.
But it's just being open for someone to have that conversation. Let's say for like track dinners, when like they pick the meals. Someone being open, like, hey, actually none of the meals that are there is like I'm allowed to eat. Like, just be open for conversations like that. And then I can go long way. Like, you don't have to know everything, but create that safe space where kids or varsity athletes, whatever, feel comfortable in just sharing their concerns.
Yeah, just being heard and knowing that, like you said, like they might not understand like your coach everything, but the fact that they're just willing to hear you out in the first place, that I feel like that can mean a lot. It could help your bond, the coach athlete relationship.
100%, because especially in the varsity level, like your coach, the dynamic is so different to, let's say, a high school level. Like your coach is like the person you talk to the most in your university years. Like they know what you eat every day. They know what time you go to bed.
Do they?
Like,
Do they though?
what you tell them you eat. What they think you eat every day. But like that's the fact that that's what the natural relationship is. It makes it easier to kind of create that open dialogue and that bond, because when you go to practice, they're gonna say, "Hey, how's it going?" For example, like there was someone who was fasting on her team, and like there was the conversation of like, "Hey, I don't think I can do practice. I'm like passing out at practice because like there's just nothing in me." And then they got to be able to take some time off and kind of spread their practices out and stuff like that.
Okay, that's cool.
Something like that, where it's like because the coaches were open and had that conversation, they were able to find a solution for the situation that made both people, you know, feel happy and feel heard, and not just one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's examples of it going like beyond race. Could be like religious reasons, things like that. But having open dialogue is so important.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing. And then everything else can kind of build off of that.
Yeah. Something else that you're kind of mentioning was like your roommates not really being on your side.
Yeah.
I think having there's one other person on that team in your corner can do so much. Like imagine if you had one voice with you.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. Then all of a sudden everyone else is like, oh, okay, like maybe we should hear them out and stop just like assuming things, right? Like all you need sometimes is just that one, and then everyone else will follow.
100%, because I feel like when it's just the one person, like the ending of my varsity years, I kind of was like the person that's like, oh, she brings race into everything, and blah, 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 because it's like just me. And then in certain spaces, there's more voices in it, and like the narratives kind of switch, and people are kind of understanding where I was coming from. But then when it's just you, I think it's so easy. People just like, oh, that's just her.
Whatever.
Just a her problem.
Let her do her own thing. Like we're not a part of that.
Yeah. So, and also, I think just because you don't see things doesn't mean it's not happening. So even if you hear someone on your team is like, oh, this coach or this athlete just said this, just did this, please let me feel like welcome.
Yeah.
If your immediate reaction is like, I didn't see it, so like that didn't happen. Instead of like, I'm not saying fully like blindly believe everything you hear, but like just having that open mind to like all situations can take you such a far way.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we kind of went into it a little bit, but what are some things you think that like as coaches or admin that they can provide for students to make sure that they're like feeling seen and heard?
I mean, yeah, like we already touched on like the most important thing, which is open dialogue, just not being afraid, even as you like the coach or admin yourself, like even if it's a stupid question to you, like, you know, if it's something that you're not really sure about, just as yourself, like that leadership person, like just being able to be like, hey, like, do I have this right? Like, just asking for clarifications for things. I feel like that's, just something important they can do. Educating themselves. That goes hand in hand, too. Like, if it means reading up on stuff or, again, listening to your athletes, just learning as much as you can, but also knowing that you're never going to know everything. And that's with everyone. We're never going to know everything about every single person, every religion, like, stuff like you
but
said.
That's why Google's there.
Yeah. As long as you're doing your best and acknowledging, hey, I'm not an expert, but I'm doing what I can. Yeah. Then I feel like you're okay.
100%. I agree with all that you were saying. I think maybe like two additional things I was kind of thinking about is even just going beyond racism is like mental health supports. I think that all varsity athletes,
especially nowadays, girl, with everything going on, we need that.
I think all like varsity, like professional athletes, I think all athletes should have access to some sort of mental health support. I'm not saying it needs to be like the most like known certified psychologist that's costing $300 an hour, but like just something, there's someone to talk to. And then like if they could keep in the loop with coaches, obviously I know there's rules and stuff, like you're not gonna tell their deepest darkest secrets,
like confidentiality,
but it's like if you're like, hey, I think she's really struggling, like maybe like give her some time off this week, or having some sort of dialogue like that could be really important. We'll switch to you being a coach now. Mo has been coaching. I've been dabbling in coaching, but I'd say Mo is a more serious coach, doing amazing works in terms of the track community here in our city, especially with the younger kids, which I love to see, like her kind of pouring into the little tiny kids who are just kind of figuring out what their sport is, what their niche is, because I think we lose the track kids to all the other sports a lot when they're younger. So I'm glad you're kind of pouring into them. From your perspective now, as you know, you were the athlete, but now being as the coach, what are some things you're like passionate about changing in terms of like with the kids, how you're pouring into the kids, things like that?
Honestly, I feel like for me, the biggest thing is just bringing the fun back. And yeah, because I found for myself, just especially my last couple of years of varsity, the fun was just, it was gone. You know, you forget why you started in the first place. It becomes, oh, I have to run certain times so I can get picked for certain meets, like whether it's relay or just, you know, going to conference championship.
Relay drama. I'm so glad I only had it for a year. My mental?
Yeah, like it just becomes a lot, and track in general, because it's an individual sport, like you can get very tunnel vision, you can get very obsessed, and soon everything is just about me. Oh, how's my recovery going? How is it? Blah, 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 you know, and it's just, by the time I was done, I was burnt out, which, kind of, you know, it sucks. So now that I'm coaching, I'm trying to start them from, like wherever they join us, whether they're 7 or 12 or 16, I'm trying to instill in them, okay, you can do your best, but you still got to keep the fun in it. Like if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Because there's no point in trying to like force yourself into doing something because you're like, oh, I need to get a scholarship. I need to. Yeah. So I'd say my biggest thing with them is just, having fun, obviously doing our best, working hard, but having fun has to be the main thing.
I think that's so needed, especially when like you're talking about the stereotypes of like, you know, Black women having to make the fastest there. I think when those moments are creeping in, if you can just hold on to like, you know, I love this sport because I'm having fun doing this. I'm going to ignore everything else that's happening. This is my fun time. This is my time to like forget about school, forget about work.
Hang out with other like-minded people. And another thing for me, like when I first started, it's like improving, not just on my times, but improving like myself, you know? So I think that's also an important thing to focus on, not just running fast, but how is this sport going to shape me into being a better person? Which
is very needed. I'm a firm believer that you learn so much in sports, even if you're not the fastest or like the best of the court, the field, whatever. I think you learn so many people skills through sport.
Oh, yes.
That those can like take you so far in life. Even if you stop sports at 10 years old, you already have the foundation.
Put on your resume, guys. Put that stuff on your...
Varsity you're applying is on my resume.
Put that on there. Leadership skills, people skills, all of that. That's a pro tip.
They actually do. And then, like, I actually have had, like, in interviews and stuff, and they mentioned it. Like, oh, like, what are the leadership skills you've learned through track? I'm like, I am glad you asked that.
There you go.
Like,
A, B, C, D.
Seeing that as
Boom.
a pro thing.
Yep.
Like I said, like, I'm dabbling in coaching now. I fell into it last track season for like the junior high kids, and no regrets. I love the relationships I made with the kids and stuff, but something I feel like I'm so adamant about is bridging the gaps for like the kids like me. For context, I did not know what club track was. I joined club track my grade 12 year, and then it was COVID. Like, I had no idea that club track was a thing.
Yeah.
I was always at all this, like, high school meets, and I was doing good, but no one came up to me and told me, like, join our club, da-da-da. And again, as I was, like, an immigrant, at that point, I was in Canada for maybe, like, 3-4 years. I didn't know I was in my city, like, nothing at all. Because the way sports are here is so different to how sports is like back home. Like in Jamaica, there is no clubs. Your high school is as serious as club in Jamaica.
Wow. Hey, I didn't know that. Have you not
seen boys and girls champs in Jamaica?
I've heard of it. So it's all
that is literally like the biggest thing of the year. And that's just high school.
I've heard of that before. I didn't realize it was
we take
just
school
only
off.
high
Like,
school.
all high schools take school off, and they like rotate the days and like have people go.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
But that to say, like, I think if you're someone who are in good connections and are in the right circles, you can find the resources. But I think there's so many kids that have raw talent out there that just don't know that there are opportunities for them out there. Or maybe it's like, you know, they don't have the finances. For example, the school I'm working with is like north side. And as you know, all the track fields are like central to south.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know, I would join a club if like A, I could afford it. But then B, I would never make it on time. Because it would take me like over an hour to bus there.
And the parents how are they going to pick them up? Like, and it's a lot to 100%. Manage.
So that's kind of my passion within it. So I loved coaching this year with like the junior high I was coaching with, it's kind of mainly with the students. They never had a track team for such a long time. And a lot of them are like literally seeing a high jump mat for the first time.
Wow.
And like it was very much starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But even that, like there's so many like amazing talent for people who have never even thought of any of these before.
Yeah.
So that also say like there is talent out there for the people that aren't necessarily the ones like knocking on your door, the ones who don't even know which door to even
just give them a chance, give them the opportunity and see what happens.
Honestly, and like that's how I like paying forward. That's how I'm here. Like we went to the same club at different times.
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other then. But our club coach is who gave her like the opportunity to go to the States and who gave me the opportunity to do varsity. So like the way he poured into us, and it's like I didn't even know like varsity was even on the table for me because I didn't know like you could just do that. So all I wanted to say is I want to pour into the people like me who like there's so many people who don't have the opportunities that really just have the talent and just need that one person to kind of believe in them to push them forward. So kind of wrapping this all up now, is there something that you wish you could tell younger you, like you that when you're doing track back in the States, that like you wish could have like helped you like push you further?
Wow, that's a good question.
Very deep, I know.
I try not to think back on that time.
Just
like
to help
the track
others.
parts.
Just to help others.
Yeah. Part of it, I would say, it gets better because definitely during that time, just, dealing with all that stuff, being away from home, 17, first time, you know,
there was
and
a
then
lot
all
of
this
things
stuff
there.
with track. I just wasn't sure if, like, I would like track again or do track again because I wasn't sure if, like, coming back home, I would be on the team or anything like that. And, where track would take me, but, just in hindsight now, just seeing everything that's happened, I just tell myself that it gets better and you'll go to places that you're more appreciated. Like when I'm coaching right now, like the first year, honestly, when it was my birthday, like one of the kids, like her mom makes cakes and stuff. She made me a cake, like it was shaped like a track. It had metal, and she gave that to me because we were joking. I'm like, oh, like tell your mom to like make me a cake. Like I was just joking, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think she would actually like do anything.
Because parents are seeing like how much you give to these kids.
Yeah, like I literally bawled my eyes out. Like I could not control myself, and I was like, wow, like people really like care about me. Like I'm really making a difference. Because I'm a person. I'm like I feel like I'm just like I'm not doing anything. Like don't
Told you she was too humble.
It's not even that. I just feel like sometimes like I'm not good enough, and I feel like part of that being with varsity track, it's a lot on your mind. So I feel like part of me was still kind of healing from that. I still feel like I am, but just knowing that people cared
see
about
the work you're doing.
and like people are appreciative of you, like they value you and they want to like pour into you. I would tell myself that there's better things ahead and better things still to come.
100%. I agree with all of that. I think if I could go back to like, because the things that I've been hearing from different like racialized kids in like these white dominant spaces and sports and stuff, it's like trying to like fit in and all of that. And trust me, I went through it too, but I think staying true to yourself is so important because when you give up everything and you're still going to feel the same way, except you no longer even know who you are anymore. Which, when you're already sad and alone and don't know who you are anymore, it's like...
It's a rough combo.
A rough combo, 100%. And also, like you're saying, like, there are spaces that are out there for you. For example, if you're in high school and it's like, this club isn't it, whether it be whatever sport it is, like, don't be afraid to, like, look for your space. Look for a club that can offer you the supports that you need. And even if it's, like, if you're really, really, really young, I always say, like, don't narrow yourself to one sport. If you're not liking the environment, the atmosphere of this, go find something else. At my grown age, like when I retired from track, then I picked up netball again, like something I played back in Jamaica and didn't play for 8-9 years. And like, you know what, it's gonna be fun for me. I didn't take it seriously. And I picked it back up and I made it to the team for nationals last year. Thank you. But just saying that it's never too late to just pick up that new hobby or find that space that's kind of for you.
I agree. I picked up pickleball. It's very
I want to play pickleball.
It's all
I've
the
only
rage.
played pickleball through like summer camps
It's
and
all
I'm
the
versing
rage.
8-year-olds.
Pickleball. Beautiful.
I want to play it with an adult.
It's fun. It's fun, guys. Try it.
Pickleball this summer.
Pickleball summer.
If you want to find out more about us, you can follow us on Instagram at stepup_AA, and we also have these podcasts up on Spotify, so you can listen to us while you're driving to work, hitting the gym, whatever it may be. But see you guys later.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks guys.